Oh, also, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Meet the Mushroom. I am your host, Holly, with the brand Susrooms that I created. And today we're going to be talking about the elusive, the adorable, the creative Shaggy Parasol. The reason that this mushroom was on my list to begin with was because it looks a little strange. It kind of looks like a tree. And I was like, fascinated by it. I'm like, this looks like a very interesting mushroom, and it is. This mushroom is one of the first that we've ever seen on this channel that is a sobriac mushroom. We're gonna get into what that means. A little intro about me. My name is Holly, and I have been making these fun Meet the Mushroom episodes here on my channel, Susrooms. I would say I'm a mushroom enthusiast. I don't claim to know everything. I have done my research and I have all of the links provided down below. I'm here to share that information in a fun video way. So today we're gonna be talking about the Shaggy Parasol mushroom. I'm basically gonna be sharing all of the facts. There is going to be a quiz in the middle of this episode where you will basically see a bunch of images and you are going to try to guess which one the Shaggy Parasol mushroom is compared to its dangerous, supposedly, lookalikes. So that is your quest. Also, at the very end of this episode, I will be sharing my art. I actually make mushroom art. I painted this, my logo, but I also make mushroom collector cards and sticker sets that you can receive every single month if you sign up for my mushroom club, or you can buy them on my Etsy shop. Let's get into the video. For the Shaggy Parasol, we are going to get into all of the fun facts. So the Latin name, I am going to pronounce it. It is Chlorophyllum rhacodes. Trying to get better at saying the Latin names of these mushrooms. Again, not an expert, but I want to learn. And I'm hoping that's why you're here too. The family of this kind of mushroom is called Agariaceae. Does this mushroom have a nickname? So as far as the research goes, it's only called and considered the Shaggy Parasol. Does this mushroom glow? There's some mushrooms that do. This one does not. The smell of this kind of mushroom is considered mushroomy, but some people say that it actually smells a little bit like maple syrup and sweet. So that's very interesting. How can a mushroom be sweet? I don't know. Does this mushroom have a reaction? What I mean by reaction is if this mushroom is plucked, cut, and this mushroom does have a stain. So it stains a orange saffronish color. Does this mushroom have any scientific discovery to it? And the answer is yes. This is, I think, one of our first ones that we figured out that has a scientific discovery to it, and it does. It has a bunch of research that has been done on it. The reason for this mushroom being scientific research study is because it is actually a sobriac mushroom, which is a mushroom that eats dead things and basically returns everything back into the earth. The sobriac mushroom actually breaks down organisms, but it can also break down pollutants, which is why this is a scientific discovery, because we're dealing with a lot in our day and age of pollutants in the air, with plastic, factories, you name it. And so having an organism, a living organism that already is doing that is something that scientists are pursuing, which is great. Great for the environment. These mushrooms, like many others, can absorb and accumulate substances from their environment. Scientists study them to understand how they might bioaccumulate heavy metals. This is relevant for both the ecosystem as well as the climate. This is considered a myocormediation. It's basically a mushroom that breaks down organisms, is what that word means. In summary, the scientists are studying these special juices or the enzymes of this kind of mushroom to better understand how it breaks down these organisms. So yeah, we love mushrooms for that reason. Another fun fact about this mushroom is that it actually creates fairy rings. Now, whenever I saw this fun fact, I really didn't know what that was. It's really cool. And I think it's so cool that I'm gonna get a tattoo of it on my bicep. So fairy rings are actually naturally occurring, and they can occur in like a lawn they can occur in the forest, they can occur anywhere. And it basically just depends on that specific type of mushroom, what pattern it creates. So kind of like how we talked about the spore print, it's a similar idea, but basically kind of seems like magic. Maybe that's why it's called fairy rings, but they basically create a perfect circle wherever those spores are spread out. So it's a perfect circle of mushrooms that grow. And that's why I kind of want to get it like around my bicep. But yeah, crazy cool, like naturally occurring. Sneak peek, that's kind of why I end up mentioning that in the collector card. All right, and now we're going to talk about the features of this kind of mushroom. So what does this look like? So I know I kind of mentioned that this kind of mushroom kind of looks like a tree. And you can be the judge of that, but I think it does. It's got like an interesting outside to it. It's got these brown scales, kind of looks like a birch tree or like bark, and it's usually brown in the center of it. So it has these scales on the outside and then it has a brown center. The stem color of this mushroom is typically white. Does this mushroom have gills or pores? This mushroom has true gills. Now, what we talked about last week with the fly amanita, I kind of described what true gills versus fake or false gills are. If they're true gills, they are actually attached to the mushroom. And if they are fake gills, they are not. They look like a gill, but they can't be torn off or anything. They're fake. How big is this mushroom? I've got my trusty ruler around here somewhere. So the height of this mushroom ranges from about 10 to 20 centimeters, which is almost this tall. Pretty large for a mushroom. Whoa. Whenever I looked at these images, I was like kind of envisioning like a smaller mushroom, but that one can get pretty big actually. Lastly, the maturity changes. As most mushrooms, it starts out very round, and with age, it flattens over time. Is this kind of mushroom poisonous or edible? Well, it is both. When eaten raw, it is extremely toxic, but whenever it is cooked, it actually has a nutty, meaty kind of flavor, and again, that maple syrupy kind of smell. And I haven't really mentioned this before, but for harvesting and for cleaning, basically, whenever you're finding a mushroom, making sure that there are no bugs on it, that it's not infested with anything, it's not molded. I feel like that's kind of a common sense thing, but might as well just put it out there. Okay, chef hat on. You can either saute this mushroom. It is a popular method. Slice the caps and saute them in butter or oil with garlic. Number 2, they can add a robust mushroom flavor to add to soups and stews. Add them during the cooking process to ensure they have been completely cooked through. And number 3, you can also add this mushroom to omelets and sauces. They can be incorporated in egg dishes or creamy pasta sauces, again ensuring that they are completely cooked first though. So those are the ways that you can cook it. There's also a caution to this type of mushroom that if you're kind of unsure, I definitely just try like a little bit of it after you cook it to make sure that you don't get sick. And if you do, that would suck actually. Wait. Now let's get into the misconceptions about this mushroom's safety. All big parasol mushrooms are edible. In reality, this is dangerously false. The green spored parasol, which is another mushroom, looks very similar and is highly toxic. We have to make sure that whatever kind of mushroom it is, that we are identifying it properly and being extremely careful. Side note, it is important to check the spore print. What is a spore print? So a spore print is actually, I would consider it a footprint for a mushroom. In order for us to identify what a spore print actually is, we have to get to what a spore is. And essentially a spore is like a seed. It's a genetic makeup of that kind of mushroom that is sent out into the air, or whenever you create a spore print, you are basically simplifying that method and letting all of the spores drop down on a piece of paper. The way that you create a spore print is basically taking the cap of the mushroom, just this part, with the gills intact, setting it on a piece of paper, either black or white, depending on what color these spores are, and letting it sit overnight. After that, you actually see a print of that kind of mushroom, which is really cool. And this is a great way to identify what mushrooms are what, and it's a really cool thing. I don't know, it's really cool, guys. Like, who figured this out? I don't know, it's pretty cool though. Other misconceptions include, you can rely on just one feature, like the shaggy cap, to identify it.
Parasol cap to identify it.
Relying on just one feature is extremely dangerous because you're not including all of the other things: the cap, gills, stem, ring, spore print, habitat, and the reaction. If animals are eating it, it should be safe for me. The reality. While some mushrooms are edible for humans, they're not all edible. A lot of animals can actually digest things that we cannot, so don't do that. If it bruises orange, it's definitely Shaggy Parasol. In reality, bruising of any color does not identify a mushroom. You have to take into account the entire mushroom again in order to identify it. Just saying that it bruises in one way or another does not include the entire species. And the last misconception that I'm gonna mention, if it doesn't have green gills, it's not the toxic one. The green spored parasol's gills are often start white and only turn greenish as the spores mature. This is why spore prints are essential for identifying mushrooms, especially when you're identifying if it's toxic or not. That's why I also do these videos, because I want everyone to feel more safe about identifying mushrooms and learning. It's pretty fun. We are now going to get into the dangerous lookalikes. I have 3 that I'm gonna mention today. And if you've seen my other video, I was gonna mention this specific type of mushroom, and it just so happens to be a lookalike for the Shaggy Parasol. Number 1, the vomiter. Yes, it is actually called that. The cap color of this type of mushroom is a white, palish tan. It has also the brown, weird scales. So that's why it's a big, closely identified mushroom. The stem color of this mushroom is whitish, but it can also be brown. It has true gills that start white and they slowly turn gray or grayish green. And this mushroom is poisonous. It's really bad. I don't think this one is edible in any sort of capacity. So that is why closely identifying these mushrooms, seeing them back to back, which is why we're gonna do the game in a minute, is super important, because if you're identifying a edible versus a toxic mushroom, be super aware. Honestly, you don't even have to eat mushrooms. You can just identify them for fun and just look at them with your eyes. Who knows? And lastly, for this type of mushroom, does it have a reaction? It does. It slowly turns a pale reddish color or brownish color, but it does have a reaction. Mushroom number 2. I think I've also mentioned this one. I was like, oh my gosh, this one's so crazy. This one is called the Destroying Angel, which is a wild name. First of all, the cap color of this mushroom is pure white. The stem color is white, and it does have these like scaly things to it. But I don't think that the cap itself has the scales. I think it's more so like the stem itself. This mushroom does have true gills as well. And this mushroom is, with the name, deadly poisonous. So not only is this poisonous, I think it will kill you. So it has lethal amatoxins. And the reaction for this type of mushroom, there is generally no reaction to being cut. It does not change color at all. So that is something that you can definitely identify between the two. But again, the other one is poisonous, so just be aware. Okay, and lastly, number 3, this mushroom is called parasol. I just wanted to put this one out there. This is the basic parasol mushroom. The Shaggy Parasol, I was like, what looks like the most like this mushroom? The parasol. It does have these shaggy scales on the outside, and the cap is a white, pale brown base with the brown on the inside. So very similar to the Shaggy Parasol. The stem color is a pale brownish white, and it has a weird like snake skin type pattern. This type of mushroom also has true gills, and the toxicity on this mushroom is actually, it's an edible mushroom. This mushroom is actually considered by many, but you have to be 100% sure that what you're identifying is the parasol mushroom and that it is cooked 100% through. That is important with any mushroom, honestly. And for this mushroom, it has generally no reaction. Okay, And for this next segment, I kind of wanted to group them together because I have another segment that I wanted to add to this series. So I kind of combined the two. So for this one, it is going to be climate and ecological role. Where in the world can you find this mushroom? You can basically find it in North America and Europe. The type of environment that this mushroom enjoys is a widespread in temperate regions. Is this mushroom a seasonal or annual mushroom? It typically grows in the summer and the fall seasonally. And is this mushroom a mycorrhizal or sobraic mushroom? It is a sobraic. Kind of like how we mentioned in the beginning, it basically is studied and researched for this quality so that it can break down dangerous materials as well as organic ones. Okay, and I added a new segment to this series called Rare because there are some mushrooms that are so extremely rare that go for a lot of money. This type of mushroom is not rare. It's actually found a lot of places and it's not even sold for very much. So it is usually wild harvested. They're found all over the place. So it is not a rare mushroom. I don't know what to tell you. Now that we have learned all about this type of mushroom, the Shaggy Parasol, as well as a bunch of mushrooms that look very similar to this kind of mushroom that are kind of deadly, what do you think? Do you think you can tell them apart? We're gonna test your skills in this game. If you are considering going out and hunting for this type of mushroom, first of all, it's common, and so you could probably find it. And number two, there's a lot of lookalikes that are deadly. So just be careful. Good luck, and let me know how many you get right. Hi! How many did you get right and how many did you get wrong? Leave me a comment below. Do I need to make these games harder? Is this like too easy for y'all? Are y'all like cooking with it or no? Let me know in the comments. Okay guys, it is now that time of the episode where I'm gonna be sharing my art. And for this mushroom, she was such a cutie pie to create. I kind of wanted her to be this adorable little mushroom, and I think I've definitely won. So this is the card. This is the Shaggy Parasol card. I thought the purple would go really well with just the way that she looks. So yeah, she just kind of looks like a little bit shy. And I just wanted her to be like in the middle of the forest and like just like a little cute, sweet thing. So I'm gonna read her qualities. A sensitive soul, she blushes a rosy saffron hue when surprised, because that's her reaction. Though often quiet, she secretly leads fairy ring dances by moonlight, because these type of mushrooms actually create naturally occurring fairy rings. Such a cool concept, honestly. A mushroom with a mysterious edge, inviting curious but careful friendship. She easily melts into the patterns of leaves and bark around her. I was kind of thinking that because of just the way that this kind of mushroom looks and how easily she could just blend in. So for her powers, I was thinking her strength was more like brittle. That's kind of what, I don't even know how I could create like a strength with brittle, but I don't know, I was like, there's a lot of mushrooms that I'm creating that have a weakness of brittle. So this mushroom actually might be one that would be like a good card. The weakness of this mushroom, I was thinking soak. The health points are 30 and the power level is 80. The power move for this type of mushroom is crumble camouflage to escape danger, kind of because she's got the brittle power and she just kind of escapes. And then of course I have my staple logo on the back. Guys, I love making these cards. They are such a treat and so fun to make. I actually make art vlogs where I show my entire process of how I create these cards and all of my stickers. So if you're ever curious on how I actually make these and the real struggles of how I can actually make this real, you can always go watch and binge my art vlogs. Okay, now let me show you the stickers. So again, for this type of mushroom, I wanted her to just be really shy and really like curious and just really cutesy. So there she is, there's the OG one. She's just kind of like a cute, sweet soul. I kind of did this fade at the bottom as well, and I tried to add in as much texture as I could. And then I also created this little cutie pie. I just wanted to add the sparkles because I feel like that just adds to her personality. And then this next one was, I was kind of making her like a little bit moody. I don't know, I was just thinking she's like, and I also wanted to show the gills in this one as well. Okay, and this one's a little bit controversial, guys. I need y'all to listen. I need y'all to watch. Is this giving a cutie pie mushroom or is it giving worm? Because I made her sitting down, okay? She's sighing. She's like, whatever. I kind of love it. I think it's such an original one as well because I have never made a mushroom sitting down before. Guys, if you liked this video, I have a bunch more that you can binge. I have been loving making these Meet the Mushroom videos. I'm learning so much personally. The fairy ring thing was so cool to learn this week. And honestly, it's just so fun to make these cards. Like this is my special interest, guys. If you want to join my mushroom club, I actually send out this entire set and you will get it exclusively about a month in advance. I have a few members now. I just added a few more because I've been noticing there's interest. There's only so much that I can do because I am the creator, I'm the artist. But if you want to be a part of this, I will make room for you, I promise. But yeah, basically you can go over to my Patreon, Susrooms. If you become a member, you will also get a day in advance of all of my YouTube videos being published, and I've been posting them about once a week. But yeah, leave a comment what mushrooms I should do next, what you liked about this video, and anything I left out, honestly. If you want to check out my new website, I just published it about a month ago and I bought the domain, susrooms.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. I post reels a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Bye! Oh my goodness, this is about to be the best Meet the Mushroom episode ever. Every time that I edit these things, I'm like, why do I have no energy at all? So I'm gonna bring the energy today, guys. We are bringing the energy. We're bringing the energy. Freshly washed hair, guys. What do you think? Damn, she's so strong. She's so strong. Oh my gosh. Bringing the energy. I'm bringing the energy. Can't even see my earrings. They like it. They like it. Energy. Yeah. Okay, let's go.